All right, Harry, everyone. We're gonna be doing a Bitcoin news here. Let's kind of see what's going on. It looks like gold price is on the rise. It's going parabolic, up to $5,000. It looks like it's pretty crazy. I think I have about a tenth of that. I didn't buy too many coins. I did have a bunch of silver, but I ended up selling it off a little bit too early. I sold it off around $30, but now I think silver's up to about $100. So it is what it is. But I kind of converted over to Bitcoin because I can borrow from that, and that's the best part about it. Thing about holding gold and silver is just that getting rid of it's quite a pain. You can't really sell it quickly. You have to sell it over eBay, plus the shipping fees of $5 a coin or whatever it is. It starts to eat up into it. But at $100 of silver, hey, I mean it's still pretty good as long as you're willing to sell it off, right? But I'd rather not sell any of it, hold the asset, be able to borrow it, makes it more powerful than anything else. All right, let's move on to here. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing. It looks like there was a whole bunch of liquidations that happened, but BlackRock's still buying Bitcoin and it's trying to get more exposure to ETF. So I mean, it is definitely a good time to buy at 85, $84,000. Was it 88,000 right now? It was down to almost about 86. Not as low as the all time from hit this point at 80,000, but still very good overall. Oh yeah, Bitcoin news. I want to warn you about this. There's a new deep fake phishing attack on Bitcoin users. I was just gonna read this and we'll kind of learn from it. It says Martin Kukar, a co-founder of BTC Prague, the Bitcoin Treasury strategist Ed Jul- Julien reported an active high-level hacking campaign targeting the Bitcoin community, and it's through Zoom calls. The way it works is that the victims receive a Zoom or Microsoft Team call via Telegram. The caller uses a AI deepfake video to impersonate a trusted contact. Attackers claim audio issues and instruct the victim to install a plugin. The plugin grants full system access, allowing the theft of Bitcoin, Telegram accounts, and credentials. Compromised accounts are then used to spread the attack further. So then they'll contact someone else on your contact list and progress the the scam. Okay. Despite the prior warnings and seeing familiar faces on video, a fake audio update prompt nearly compromises his system. He was only spared after being warned to immediately unplug his computer. Immediate actions to take: do not accept Zoom or team calls initiated by Telegram. Treat all Telegram messages as untrusted even though they're known contacts. Never install any plugins or updates during call. Use safer alternatives like Signal, Jitsi, Google Meet. Install reputable malware protection and remain vigilant. These attackers are highly professional and are successfully exploiting trust, urgency, and deepfake technology, and this can happen to anyone. So question everything. Okay, so definitely, since Zoom and Microsoft calls, I've kind of shied away from it, especially for like job interviews or whatnot, or you think you're gonna get a job and all they're doing is just uh, plugging into your computer as you download this plugin that lets them uh, basically take over your computer and just search through whatever they need. Okay, so be careful about that. There's nothing good about Google um, Zoom calls and whatnot. Okay, all right. So let's see here. Oh, okay. Let me make sure that my stream is good. Let me double check my stream real quick. Just make sure it's working. Let's see here. Live. I think that should be alright. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Yeah, I see myself. Great. You guys have any comments or anything like that? Let me know. We can chat. I'll have that up and running so that we can chat with you guys. Have any questions or whatnot? We can talk about it. Okay. All right. Here it is. Cool. I think that should be alright. Yeah, it looks like it's. All right. Cool. All right. So let's see here. Bitcoin miners, the hash rate has gone down since the price has gone down a little bit too. Tomorrow, that they're a pretty big company that been mining stock Bitcoin. They got one here in Toller or near Toller, Glen Rose more like in Texas. And the people around here is not liking that there's Bitcoin noise. Looks like it's trending out. Bitcoin's been trending out about 5% now. Still chugging through, but I don't know if they're holding and borrowing from the crypto also, but uh, that will actually help them better rather than selling it to pay for the electricity and whatnot. Okay. All right. Let's see what else is on here. Looks pretty good. Let's see if there's any other Bitcoin news on X. Oh wait, there's a bunch of, I don't know if all this stuff is all AI generated or not. All these, a lot of the times you're like, yeah, that can't be real. You know, it's hard to believe about just about anything nowadays. Look, urgent government's days away from shutdown. Oh yeah, that's a problem too. Coming up, I believe February 3rd. Was it February 3? Let's kind of see what's going on here. Um, yeah, it looks like there's no fix for what's coming. We're gonna have another shutdown. Last year's shutdown was almost 60 days, and in a few months we have to do it again. Pretty soon it gets so close where it's like after you approve one and not even a week, you have to now renegotiate again because the debt's compounded so fast and you spent it so fast that it just gets crazy. So there's a lot of card delinquencies. Rates are up 90 days past due or hitting levels not seen since 2011. Universal flow of serious delinquencies for auto loans. Credit cards had spiked with some reports showing total household debt staggering 18.5 trillion as of late 2025. All right, so yeah, it's getting tough out there. I don't know how a lot of people are doing it without buying assets first and then being able to borrow from that. A lot of just hardworking folks who just pay their bills directly is got to be hurting. Okay. A lot of people going to wish they followed me sooner. Okay. This is the no limit image content. Okay. Well, let's see what else we got here. If you guys haven't played it Off the Grid, it's a crypto game. I think it's okay, but it's still very new. You're not gonna be able to make that much money on it because there's just so many of these hexes that are being released, so there's really no regulation on how much hex. But it's a fun game. Be able to kind of participate and find little hexes or weapons upgrades that you can then sell as an NFT later. Ryan third preemptive attack. This is probably like one of those Israel. I don't think this is any recent here. Tehran would strike Israel first if it confirms that the United States has decided to attack. Okay, Israel is on the maximum alert. Okay, so there's some rumors of wars. Silver just dumped 12% in 4 hours. Okay, so silver was as high as $118. Wow, and then it's down to 103. What's still above $100? Still pretty good. I don't know if this is a log scale or what, but yeah, $90 up to 118. Yeah, it's still above 100. That's fine. It's showing us a little bit of recovery here. And if you guys have any silver, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys able to borrow from it at all? Trump said 100% win rate just got fully liquidated on his longs. Oof. That's Baron Trump. After 19 successful trades and 145 million profit, he went all in and lost 190 million in the crypto's wild space. Oops. Hopefully this is not it's not Baron Trump, is it? Too much leverage. Yeah, leverage. After this, maybe the Fed suspect insider false info to wreck him. If you didn't, could. Yeah. All right. I mean, it happens. Leverage does it. This is while gold just ripped over 5,000 an ounce. Yeah, it's crazy. Parabolic move. Instead of feeling defeated, Bitcoiners should be excited about this move. Here's why. So I think Bitcoin is just waiting, right? It's kind of before Bitcoin would move first before anything else, or move along with the stock market. But we'll see. Maybe it's just a little bit of a lag here before they go, oh, take profit here and then shove it back in Bitcoin and then watch Bitcoin take off. How much then did you need? I'll say. Okay. Anyone gonna be watching the Melania Trump movie that's coming out? I probably won't. Well, it's official. There will be no government shutdowns in the United States. Risk is off the table. Stability is back. Markets breathe again. Liquidity stays in play. Confidence and bullish for crypto. So what's this? Bullish for crypto XRP. Anyone has got? Anyone has XRP here? Big exchange about to collapse. Okay. All right. Very close video of the U.S. aircraft carrier. When there is no use hiding, we know your location, and our suicide drones can reach you before the aircraft takes off. Okay. AI. Gold and silver erased 1.7 trillion market cap in 90 minutes in one of the largest reversals in history. 118 down to 103. Gold 510 down to 100, 504. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people taking profit. All right, so yeah, the shutdown is January 31st, so that's gonna be happening at the end of this week. What's gonna happen? The U.S. will crash the gold market this week. Markets are not prepared for what's coming. Trump has announced another government shutdown starting January 31st. This shutdown is different. It will crash the financial system. If you hold any assets now, you must read this. The risk isn't obvious at first glance. It builds quietly and then hits all at once. So here's the things you need to start to break. Data blackout. The Fed is fully data dependent. A shutdown turns the data off. Okay. All these CPI reports, JAR reports are all turned off. No data, no transparency. When models are going to lose their inputs, uncertainty spikes. And when uncertainty spikes, volatility gets repriced higher. VIX isn't pricing in a sudden loss of macro data. Collateral hit repo markets, U.S. treasuries, and backbones of global collateral. Okay, a downgrade during shutdown would force higher repo haircuts immediately. Higher margins, less liquidity. That's how funding starts. So does that mean we need to be liquid in dollars? When uncertainty buyers, dealers pull back and hoard cash. Yep, we've seen this before. Repo stress, balance tightening, slower lending. But now it's worse. The reverse repo facility is basically drained. There's no liquidity cushion left. If dealers hesitate to lend against treasuries because of political risk, short-term funding markets can lock up fast. The growth drag, GDP. Each week of shutdown cuts about 0.2% from GDP. A strong economy that's manageable, which is, it should. If it's a crash, then things should be cheaper, right? So it's either have inflation or a deflation. Inflation is better for the rich. Deflation, no one wins, and so they would prefer to inflate. But it's also opportunity for those who have liquid cash and be ready for it to buy up the dip. Okay. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Warning Trump secretly replacing the U.S. Federal Reserve now, right? With Bitcoin, hopefully, maybe. Alright, bullish for crypto, official. There'll be no shutdowns. Well, so now we just got this new news that there's no shutdowns. So let me see what this is all about here. Let's watch this. Timing, yay, nay.
On this vote, the yeas are 341 and the nays are 88. The bill is passed without objection.
So I guess they passed the bill. Really. Boom, back up again. No shutdown, run it up. Alright, so take that back. No shutdown. We're good to go. Mega bullish. Let's stack up those bitcoins now. Don't need to be in cash anymore. Did you think Bitcoin would replace US dollar reserve currency? Yep. Facing yen interview against, just like in 1985, last time the crash of the dollar by nearly negative 50%. In 1985, US dollar became too strong. US factories were losing business. Exports were collapsing. And the trade deficit were exploding. Congress was close to putting heavy tariffs on Japan and Europe. So the US, Japan, Germany, and UK met in New York in the Plaza Hotel and made a deal. They agreed to deliberately weaken the dollar by directly selling dollars and buying other currencies together. That was the Plaza Accord, and it worked. Over the next 2 years, so instead of the Plaza Accords, there was the Mar-a-Lago Accords with President Trump's at President Trump's hotel, I guess, or home. This was one of the biggest currency resets in modern history because when the government coordinate in foreign exchange, markets don't fight them, they follow. That's the decision changing everything. The weaker dollar push, gold higher, commodities higher, and assets higher. Now look at today. The U.S. still runs a large trade deficit, currency imbalance at its highest. Japan again at the center of stress, and the yen is again extremely weak. That's why Plaza Core 2.0 is being discussed. Next week, the New York Fed did rate checks on USD, JPY, and the exact step taken before FX intervention. It signals a weak willingness to sell dollars and buy yen. No intervention happened yet, but markets moved away because they remember what Plaza means. It starts again. Every asset price in dollars will skyrocket. All right, buckle up, boys. Here we go. Okay, Bitcoin struggles at 88K. The split almost never lasts. In this video, 3 signals that almost show up right before capital rotates back into Bitcoin. So get ready, guys. Buy your Bitcoin, get it ready, and leverage up if you need to. Just don't get too tight. Alright, so that's where it is. See if my bot has done anything yet. My bot did. I think I had about $100 in here. I was down to almost 60 bucks, and then I think it went all in, and it did a good trade. From it got in around 89 and got out around 86, and we pulled almost 30% of that back. So let me show you that here under my vaults. And this bot basically trades for you. This is it right here. BTC USDT AI TradeBotSecrets.com. Yeah, during the testing, it did alright, and then we kind of like, was losing a little bit paper cuts. It wasn't taking profit, even though we were up 40 bucks. Eventually, gave it all back, and then finally, we were down almost 60% or 40% of our portfolio, and we finally recovered that all back right there in one trade. So we got in around 89 and we exited on 86. Well, it's a really good trade. But I had to track it, monitor it, just to make sure that the bot was. It needed a trailing stop profit that was dynamic, be able to expand and contract based on the speed of the basis points of how much it was moving, and it would give back a little bit. Unless it moved too much too fast, it would then take profit, which is what it did. This was almost up to about 61, 62 at one point, but we retraced a little bit, but it was fine. That way we didn't get wicked out early. It gave it enough room for it to kind of continue to move in our favorable direction. Okay. Currently we have one extra investor. He's just kind of dabbling right now, but of the 100, we're up 20%. And hopefully there's some more trades that come in. This is kind of like the pulse here of the trainer. It trains with Neat AI. Neat AI is kind of more of a neural evolutionary augmented topologies. It's kind of a neural network, a recurrent neural network that evolves and changes its neurons over time, because I kind of agree that it needs to continue learning. What's the point of a network? You train it once, and then something new comes in, like a new market data, and it doesn't know how to adapt or evolve to it. Alright, so this is what it does. When I first came across this video here on YouTube about Neat, it was playing a game called Neat. It was playing a game with Mario, and Neat would actually jump up and down and whatnot. And what it did was, when I looked at it, all I saw was it jumping on candles. So this is it right here.
Watching a skilled player play Super Mario World, but this player is not human. It's a computer program I wrote called Mario. This program started out knowing absolutely nothing about Super Mario World.
So when it's jump, it knows where
in fact, it didn't even know that pressing right
things
on the
are
would make the player go towards the end of the level. It learned all of these things through a process called neuroevolution. In this video, I want to teach you about how Mario learned to beat this level, Donut Plains 1, what his brain looks like, and how it's all based on actual biological evolution.
So it's pretty cool.
So let's start out by actually looking at Mario's brain.
So
let's play it again, but this time we'll look at Mario's brain as it's making the decisions of what buttons to press. It's going to look a bit complicated at first, but don't worry, I'll help break it down for you.
So this is his brain right here, and this is neurons that evolve, and these connections will change. It'll take away connections, it'll delete connections, it'll add more connections, and they all connect to A, B, X, Y, up, down, left, and right. And then it can see things that are in front of it, behind, as it as you
Structure
can
of
see it
colored
here.
lines and blinking boxes is called a neural network.
So we'll
It's
see
a
these
simple
boxes.
mathematical model for how a brain works, but it can produce some very complicated behavior.
See how these black box or is obstacles, and that's him right there, that little white line. So if it sees a block, it'll connect to it and know how far, how fast, and he needs to go to avoid it.
With enough computational
I'm just kind of learning myself. So it sees it needs to do a B to jump.
power, a neural network could come close to simulating a real human brain, but modern technology isn't there yet. On the left side, you have the inputs. This is what Mario sees. It's a simplified view of the level. The white squares stand for blocks the player can stand on, and the black squares stand for moving objects like enemies or mushrooms. On the right side, you have the outputs. These are the 8 buttons that Mario is able to press by using its neural network. In between the inputs and the outputs, all those lines and boxes, those are the neural network. Each free-floating box is called a neuron, and the lines connecting those boxes are like the axons and dendrites in a
Yeah, so these are the connections, and the neurons are these white boxes over here.
human brain. At any given time, only some of these neurons and connections are actually being used. And this is what people talk about when they say you only use 10% of your brain. The neural network you're seeing is a pretty complicated one, and it got so complicated as a result of a 24-hour evolutionary learning session. So, to explain how neural networks work, let's rewind about 24 hours and look at how the whole process started.
Alright, so it's just the process of it training how it didn't know what to do, and eventually it'll start to move forward. If it moves forward, it starts to get a score, fitness score. If it jumps over something and starts to progress through the map, it gets more and more. And as it learns, eventually it kind of goes parabolic. And after about, I guess, 32 generations, it starts to really play the game really well. And then you have your champion basically that you evolve, and you have different neurons that you can mate and whatnot, and so that's kind of basically what this does. And it'll run through this training scenario here, and look at the candles, and it'll kind of jump through the candles, and it'll kind of simulate over and over and over and over for many generations. And that's kind of what it does here. It kind of looks at this, and then it starts to jump through. It's like, oh, we jump down, jump down. We need to short, short, short. And if it sees that, hey, we're going to start to long, 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 jump down, kind of thing. And that's kind of what I saw with Neat. And I was like, dude, it needs to be able to do this. So um, I kind of procrastinated for a while, but finally got it done. And so this is the actual live trainer. And so it doesn't just train once and then we inference on the real thing. Right now it's deciding neutral. Don't do anything right now, so it's chilling. It knows not to get in if it's just not clear. And then this here, the GPU, that's the generations right now. I've reset it a few times. It does load the news champion, and then it resets the generations over and over. So right now we're at generation 30. It's stepping through all these chunks of time of candles right here, and you kind of see how it just propagates through, and it's running through the GPU. And because Neat uses CPU, you can do one neuron at a time. With using GPU, we have to chunk it and add arrays and rows and columns because we have to maintain tensors, so that it can actually have different tensors that will turn off and on with different identity matrices. That way we can still use and leverage the GPU to train it through it. Okay, and then we kind of see the neuron its score. We have about I think 7 or 8 different outputs right now, so that we can see that the outputs are changing from iteration to iteration. And then the intent props, I'm not sure what that is yet, or the raw, what comes in, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll probably need to clarify what that, because a lot of the stuff that I built with ChatGPT, it definitely helped a lot to, and I think it's evolved to a point where it does have a lot to do with it. And I think once it kind of figure out which one's the highest, then it shows the intent here. So if this one's fired, it would mean that this is probably is it the highest number? I believe it should be the highest number compared to all the other ones. I think that's what it means. Margin 0.5. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of how it works. And and then it'll just train, and then once it trains, let's go ahead and see what the fitness is on this one. And a lot of the times, in the beginning, I'm still kind of training it. It's still early. um, Sometimes it's just not losing gives it a good champion fitness score. And so I'm just trying to get to trade more. So there's a mean right there, $1.78. So let's go and look at the fitness score here, fitness stats. All right, so the worst one lost negative 3,339, and the best one is it loses $3, right? So it's still very early stages, I think, kind of like where it doesn't know how to get in and get out. It's still kind of losing money, but hey, a minimal loss is better than a negative 3,000 loss, right? And then the average score is like losing 300 bucks, So we need to try to get this in the positive. So that's why we have a lot of guardrails right now. I have a lot of trailing take profits. He just knows how to get in, but doesn't know how to get out. That's kind of what I've seen a lot of the times. So this is kind of like some of the plots that I've kind of looked at, and kind of on the development wise. It did try to fire here to get out, fire here to get out, but it finally took profit here. But this is from guardrails, not from AI, and it didn't get back in to take advantage of the rest of this. Okay. So I need to continually train this and kind of see what's up here. And then a lot of the times I would kind of observe, kind of have it plot things so I kind of see if it's going where I need to go. And if I see anything that's weird, then we'll verify it and kind of check on it, see if it's a bug. So I'm kind of watching this, tracking it. I was like, why is it not getting in when it should be getting in? Kind of thing. Okay. So this is done through that, and it'll fire off an API call. If it needs to place a trade, it'll place a trade, and you can adjust leverage. You can add more. You can dollar cost average in. If it needs to add more to the position, it will. And when it's ready to get out, it'll flip that and take profit and trail it until and lock in that profit that it'll take. So HB is kind of like the heartbeat, so I can kind of see that it's going and it's working. Okay. All right, so that's kind of what I have here. You can follow me on Apex Omni, or you can subscribe to this channel. I'll probably post some more updates on how it's trading and how it's doing. And if you also want to get access to this, you can go to Apex Omni. You can join the vaults, and it'll basically trade for you. If it makes you any money, it'll just charge 10% of the profit that it makes you. And that way it's kind of you don't have to pay for any subscriptions or anything like that. It's just if it performs, it'll benefit you, and if it doesn't perform, then then that's the risk that you put in. Okay. Yeah, and then what you can do is also kind of track the history of that too through the vault, and you can see how it performs better and better, and its return before you decide to go in on it or not. Okay. Alright, so yeah, pretty exciting stuff. I'm glad I'm able to get this. Now it's just a matter of making sure that it stays profitable. My goal right now is to make sure that this $100 can be compounded to $200. If it can at least double what I put in, I think that's the magic key. Because doubling once lets you can double twice. If you could double that, then hey, a double becomes very powerful. Alright, very fast. Okay, alright, so I think that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any other questions, let me know. You have any topics you want to talk about, definitely post it, comment below, and I'll check it out, and maybe we'll see what we can do from there. Alright, talk to you.